Hello everybody, I'm Elwirfy and today we're going to be talking about, this time, a Zeds comparison. I'm going to be reviewing a video put together by Ash2Royd. He has 149 subscribers. Make sure to come down here and give a nice subscribe to the small YouTuber. Always want to give our love to those in the small YouTube content creator space, especially someone who's going through the effort to make these wonderful comparison videos. I did talk about Killing Floor 1 earlier and Killing Floor 2, but this time we're just going to be focusing on how Killing Floor 2 compares to Killing Floor 3. And obviously, like we do with all these videos, I'm going to be slowing down, trying to break down everything that we're seeing. Obviously, we're going to get Ash2Royd's opinions as well. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Alright guys, and welcome to another video. You guys went really crazy in the last one. Love the comments, love the feedback. And yeah, we pretty much all share the same feeling. So here's the rest of the Zeds, their behaviors and animations, just to show you the difference in quality. And starting off with the Clots. There's no real personality here. They don't move naturally. They're very stiff and life.
So you see how already they're stopping and like they run up to you, but they won't attack. He just backs away barely any at all, and they're already, they're stopping. It's like their animation gets broken. I saw that immediately. I didn't even have to think about it. We immediately saw problems with the animation style.
Lifeless. They try to attack you, they sprint at you, and then they just stop.
Right. He even mentions it.
And then you have these.
And he even had the animation in the back as he comes up. So watch this guy right here. We'll meet him for a second. Watch this guy right here as he does his stuff, and look at the guys in the back how they don't care. You know, we'll even, as we always like to do, drop down the playback speed a little bit. Let's go ahead and watch it. So this guy's just going to do an animation in the background. These two other guys aren't even moving. It's just this one guy who's blocking our way. You can see all three of these guys in the back are not doing anything. So that's just very concerning. You know, and as we see him even kind of, that's funny, he's even skipping some steps, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Because again, they have kind of a long stride. But you can see like this guy in the back on the left that's behind him was kind of coming towards you, but he gave up, possibly blocked by this guy's animation. Not sure if he was or not, but that's something important to note. But again, you can see even with the movement of the feet, it's janky. See, did you see how it like swivels, it rotates a bit? Here, we'll play that back again. Just so you can see, watch this Clot's feet as he moves. So he's running, and then he's going to freeze, right? He does T-pose, and then his foot swivels without moving at all. It's a really weird thing because it's getting glitched out on the stair. I just thought that was important to point out as well. It's not looking good, and we're only on the first enemy, you know. Oh, playback speed. Let's fix that playback speed a bit. Anyway. And
then you have these guys that are very like feral humanoids. You know, they're huffing and puffing.
See how everyone in the background is already moving towards you? They're not getting stopped or stuck. I'm just saying, like, it's an important difference that they're actually all making their way towards you. Maybe they're not moving the fastest, but it's okay, because at least they're still coming at you. They're not freezing, right?
They approach you, and then they start sprinting, and then they don't.
Yeah. See how they're. Yeah, I agree with him. How they're running, and you can see how aggressive the expressions are. The fact that some of the Clots in the new game don't even have faces—that's a bit concerning because that kind of takes away from some of the scary elements a bit, which I feel is really disappointing.
Stop until they kill you.
And see how like some of them even that guy has a jump ability. They just seem more aggressive, and as even I bet you if we watch them climb the stairs, we'll get the same things. Let's mute again and change playback speed back down. I might have gone back a little too far, but that's okay. Let's just wait for them to start running up the stairs, and I bet you they'll hit every step. Step there, step there. Okay. So admittedly, I was wrong. They are skipping some stairs, but they are sprinting. This guy who's walking, let's just go back real quick, and just let's focus on this guy now. This is what we watched previously, but I'm looking at this guy. So he's going to run, and he takes 1, 2. They're kind of skipping steps. Okay, so they are skipping steps because of stuff. So that's maybe that's an issue on the way that the stairs are made versus the way the Clots are animated. But I just think that's important to point out. Anyway, let's hear what he has to say about the Clots in Killing Floor 2. So it's not perfect. My point is that Killing Floor 2 is not a perfect game. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, Killing Floor 2 is like so legendarily good. There's problems. But those problems aren't as obvious when they're lunging at you, being aggressive and attacking you. You don't feel that, to me at least, I don't see that same like concern, personally.
Sprinting, and then they don't stop until they kill you.
Right. And they relentlessly sprint to you too. There's no passive walking. Once they lock onto you, they get you, right?
So I think the crawlers have the worst animations out of all the Zeds.
Oh wow, that was bad right there. He definitely barely moved to avoid that attack. Crawlers used to be really difficult to dodge, especially in Killing Floor 1. It got a little easier in Killing Floor 2, but that was bad. Also, why aren't they black anymore? What's going on here? These guys are supposed to be hiding in the shadows on the ceilings. These are the easiest to spot enemy in the game now. That's super bad.
They have like this one attack that just leaps at you.
See how they didn't turn to face you? He just walked right by. This is nothing. Like, what's wrong with their programming that they're going to your most recent spot? It's like they're on a timer and they like time your tick rate or something. You're like, oh, the enemy was over here 3 ticks ago. Let's go that way. You're not actually paying attention to where you actually are. Sorry, I have to cough. Apologize. They're not actually there in the moment that you. I don't know, in the actual space you are. They're not tracking you live, which is a big problem.
In a weird way, like the legs don't really bend.
Yeah, and they're just ignoring you because they're getting confused way too easily. Way too easily. I mean, that just shouldn't happen, especially with the guys who are supposed to ambush you. These are the sneaky guys who are coming after you, and they can't hit you. What's going on? Doesn't make sense.
They kind of just launch at you.
Like the lunge was
Look
good,
at this.
and then they don't. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They lunge at you, but then we look at this guy. He's going to lunge.
So
he kind of gets you, but he even was out of the way, I'd argue. And I think it's important to note that this guy is making a lunge attack, and the hitbox is pretty wide, right? Like, we're going to play this in slow-mo, so it's going to jump at him. And you can see... Oh, dang it. I didn't mean to jump that far. Sorry. I have a button on the side of my mouse that I accidentally pushed. But we can see as it jumps, even this one, it's going past him, right? So, which is fine. He's dodging out of the way. But look at how much gap we had, and he still took a little bit of damage. You can see the blood splatter on the side of the screen. So the attack hitboxes, because these guys are so janky, for whatever reason, the hitboxes of the crawlers are wider than their actual model, which is a bit weird. And we're going to see the same thing with this guy. So we'll watch him slowly, and I'm going to try and time it as to when this jump happens. He's going to go past again. Now, admittedly, the player this time wasn't as to the side, so it makes sense maybe that there's a hit coming in, but it's not anything like... Oh, these guys are totally not... They should be running also. These guys are, again, being way too slow. But you see how, like, it feels like this dude is very... Like, he's going to miss you anyway. So it's weird that the hitbox allows him to get hit. See, it went straight past, and he's getting hit more. I don't know how to feel about that. It seems like a poor choice, but that's me. It feels like the animation is just bad, and the hit scan part of it is not working, or the way that the hitbox part of it is not working.
So the motion capture for these crawlers was really stunning.
See how he lunged up and raised his head up? It's already more interesting animation already, just from that alone.
Each individual limb moves, the appendages, they leap at you.
Definitely.
You can see here. I mean, look at that.
You get a variety of attacks coming at you, and you'll notice he's not walking past you or ignoring you. He's directly coming at you the whole time, which is huge. That's really important. We need to have the enemies feel like an actual threat.
So the Killing Floor series is pretty notorious for having Zeds that get stuck, and you...
Are we still on the crawlers? Okay, he's talking about Zeds that get stuck. So I hope it was clear from watching how this crawler moves that this guy has a wider range of motions. We didn't even play full speed. He does a lunge attack, he jumps around, and he's just aggressive. He's aggressively coming at you, and I think that's really important. We need the Zeds to be aggressive in Killing Floor 3. If they're not aggressive, then we're not going to feel like there's a challenge. They should always be coming at us, always lunging at us. It's zombie AI. How hard is it to make zombie AI? Call of Duty did it, God, back in World at War. I mean, Jesus. Like, it's not hard to make an AI that just tracks the player's movement and follow it, right? Like, I would think it'd be harder to do something where it tracks their most recent location. I don't know. It's almost like you're dumbing down the AI.
So the Killing Floor series is pretty notorious for having Zeds that get stuck, and you kind of have to go looking for them.
That is fair.
It's no different in this game either. Now onto the Bloat, our favorite large Marge.
I was going to say, about enemies getting stuck, that's true in all 3 Killing Floor games. It's just, I don't know how they do the AI and stuff, but for whatever reason, they do get stuck sometimes. I'm not really worrying about that, because that's true in Killing Floor 1 and Killing Floor 2. It's an ongoing problem, but it is disappointing that Killing Floor 3 did not fix it.
I absolutely adore the Bloats. So much attention to detail. Look at the stomach.
I mean, it's cool. He's giving some opinions about their graphics. I don't really. I'm not here to judge whether or not art style is good. I'm more concerned about animation and gameplay itself. But I will admit, I do think that this design is a little more grotesque than the Killing Floor 3 one, and I think that the move away from gore is certainly a problem. I feel like we definitely need more gore in the game.
Look at the chest. Look at the butcher's cleavers.
Yeah,
You shoot the head off. Blood and vomit start raining out.
I agree.
And then it still tries to attack you.
Right.
I find the bloats in this game really lame.
Whoa, that guy looks like a chocolate souffle. That's bad. And yeah, that's just not good. I'm sorry, it's not.
Firstly, there's no butcher's cleavers.
Oh yeah, they took that away. That's weird. And then what the heck is this? His stomach. This is just an odd design choice. Not that you can't have. Hold on. Not that you can't do this kind of stuff, but it's like you're. It's hard to see what's going on. It's hard to tell that this is the head, right? Because this is covering the head now. So it makes it harder to do the gameplay that you're familiar with, which maybe that's part of the challenge, but I feel like you're telling the player they need to target this instead of the head. So it's disincentivizing headshots on the bloat.
They have one attack. It looks okay.
Yeah, the attack's fine.
And
I don't mind
the
the animation.
while it's on cooldown. They don't.
Yeah, this is a problem. It should always be spitting or attacking you, or if it's not going to have cleavers anymore, it needs to be swiping you with its claws. You can see the claws. We can tell. So there's no reason why it would just freeze
They
here.
don't do anything. Sort of look at you and growl a little bit, but that's really it.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
And then you have these guys that have so many attacks. If you get too close.
See how he wipes his mouth before he throws it? Instead of doing this big bubble that shows that he's going to attack, he just wipes his cheek a little bit to get ready to spit. That's such a nice, subtle way to telegraph to the player that he's going to spit without making it over the top. Like, I shouldn't, like, if I'm engaged in a fight here and, like, say there's another player up here fighting, I shouldn't be able to see the other player's fight coming up as, like, a big priority compared to mine. My fight with my enemies that are in front of me should always be the most noticeable, and by giving this guy something that bloats up really big on his back, that means that I'm getting distracted by a lot of background noise, and it pulls me out of my own fight, which I think is a problem.
Close, they puke on you. If you get really close, they always hit you.
Right.
They actually attack you with the cleavers too, and they do like this 360 puke attack. Amazing.
Yeah, all the variety is really nice to see. And I'll admit, I don't think they use their cleavers that much, but it comes up. And I understand why they might have removed the cleavers, since, let's be honest, the bloat really doesn't do any damage with the cleavers. It's not really an issue. But it's a nice design feature that they're there, that it shows they're the butcher. They are probably the chef, in whatever sad limited lore Killing Floor has. Killing Floor has the worst lore ever, because I can't figure, like, I'm sure there's some people online who, like, know all the lore or whatever, but the game is not a story game. But I think keeping the cleavers is good. And it's too bad they got rid of
Gorefast in this game just looks so weird. They kind of look like a sun-dried tomato. There's not much to say about them. The animations are terrible. I mean,
Whoa, that was really bad. Do you see that? He, like, didn't move. Watch his feet real quick. I'm just gonna play. Look at that glitchy foot movement. That's bad. Like, come on.
is that? But just have a look at this.
See how they're freezing and they're having their animations get reset because they can't seem to. They're not as aggressive. That's the problem, right? They are not as aggressive.
Like, what's going on? And the Gorefast and Killing Floor 2 are actually.
It's very smooth. You see how it came down that ledge? Let's watch as he comes down this ledge again.
And the Gorefast and Killing Floor 2.
See how, like, as he jumped? Wow, that is so clean. Oh my god. We have to watch that in slow motion. That's awesome. I don't normally get to show off this kind of stuff if I'm playing in game, but man, it is really cool to watch. Okay, so let's go through this whole. It's subtle too. So he's running and he's gonna do a jump, or I guess a land, but you can see him crouch down and he has to build up that momentum again. That's a huge detail, and that incentivizes players to try and take advantage of ledges to get away from a really fast attacker. Now, does it do much in the long run? No, but every second that adds to that animation delay of him getting up to you is huge. That matters a lot. But that's way better than whatever glitchy stuff this is, where he's gonna, like, chop his sword and then just stand there and then get confused before kind of sliding out of the way and not really running very well. So very weird design choice with that, in my opinion. We'd much rather see him constantly running, swinging the sword around, and not stopping. It's very relentless, very purposeful. There's not too much more to say about that. Otherwise, like design-wise and stuff, it's all fine. It's just too bad that there's a lack of aggression in Killing Floor 3. It's really disappointing.
Are actually fast. You know, they chase you, they
Right.
swing their swords around, you know, they slam it on the ground. Look at the footwork. Look at
I
the
agree.
spin.
Look at the speed.
So cool.
It's really nice. It's very
Moving on to the
smooth.
Sirens. This
And he blocked the gunshot with his sword. That's really cool.
one's kind of bad. I will admit, the Sirens look cool in this game.
These
they
do
have
look
this
cool.
Awesome
I
attack,
agree with that.
but literally that's all they do. They don't have
Speaking
any other melee
Spanish,
attacks
LOL.
or anything. They kind of just stare at you, but the animations are pretty good.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the best, probably the best model for the Killing Floor 3 enemies, because this is an actual improvement in my opinion. Because, I mean, the design's just great, but I'm biased. I think that this design's really cool. But it is too bad that the Scream Wave is pretty easy to dodge. Because if you saw, oh my god, I hit my button again. Stupid. You can see when it does its
the Sirens
scream.
look cool in this game. You know, they have this awesome attack, but literally
See, you kind of can dodge underneath it. You're not supposed to. I don't know if that's a graphical glitch or not, but you're really not supposed to be able to go underneath, right? You're just not. You're not supposed to be doing that. I don't know if this damage he's taking is from when he was standing on top or below, but I'm pretty sure. But in Killing Floor, the radius of the Siren is going out in a bubble, so this one looked like more like a dome. So where like there's a flat part, right? So then if you're underneath the flat part, then you wouldn't get hit, right? So that's why we wanted a bubble before. That's how it used to be.
that's all they do. They
So
don't have any other melee.
I'm worried
attacks
about
or
that.
anything. They kind of just stare at you, but the animations are pretty good.
Yeah, otherwise good animation. This is still the best unit.
Here's
I
a
think.
lovely little lady who will actually try to bite you. Yes.
Actually, I learned something new today. I did not know that they try and bite you because of the way I play. I don't let them get near me. But that is really interesting that if they try and get to you because their arms are locked, they get their unique biting animation. That's really cool, actually. The fact that the developers for this game decided to, understand the way that the character is modeled, because before, remember in the first game, she was just in a straitjacket. So then here, she's all bolted and really restrained, so that her head is her only source of melee attack, which I think is cool.
I'm trying to munch you for lunch if you get too close.
Right. But see how, again, it's in a bubble. It's in a radius going around the whole thing, so it's harder to dodge. I mean, that's a really good way to make the Siren a threat. That's why I always kill her right away. That's why I never let her get close, because I know you cannot really dodge the attack if she gets too close.
And they also have like this swing attack, where it's like hitting you with their claws or their harness.
That's another thing I just never noticed before. That's really cool.
If you ever played Quake 2, the Husks in this game are pretty much like the Strogg. Yeah,
I've never played Quake 2. But that's a lame animation. Come on. I already talked about this in another video, but we're here. I'll just talk about it again. Why is it just jumping up in the air and swirling at you when it sees you pulling away? It's the one ranged unit in this game, and where it like shoots you from afar, and it has a melee attack now. Like, I don't have a problem with having a melee attack, but its animation takes so long. You could easily kill it, unless it's invincible in its animation, but that causes another set of problems. Either way, I don't like the design choice of that animation. Let's look at it again. I mean, it's bad.
Like the Strogg.
See how he's like up in the air and just doing this little circle, and the player just backs away. He's at 100 health here. He's maxed out on health. He doesn't care. He's just pulling back.
Yeah,
Didn't even take damage. It's too easy to
They
dodge.
suffer a lot from bad animations and stiffness, as you can see.
Granted, this was never meant to be a hard enemy. I'm not saying he has to die from it, but I am saying, like, put some life into this. And look how gray this guy is too. All the discoloration. He blends in with the background too much. I think this guy needs to be much brighter, especially for the fire guy. You'd think there'd be like flames or something illuminating him more. He just looks very plain, and it's sad.
Let's see.
What does that get us? What did that little pop get us? Because you're having him do he puts his head in the air, only to ready himself again. So that's like a double telegraph.
The Killing Floor 2 Husks
I
are
don't
just
know.
on another level. These guys are awesome. They even have like an
These guys are already more accurate.
actual flamethrower attack that,
That
lights
flamethrower
up the
attack is
entire
cool.
place.
I agree.
Just so sick. The Killing Floor 3.
Yeah, there's not much to say about the Husks. It's just like they're a low level enemy. They're not supposed to do much. but they make you have to pay attention. You have to dodge those shots. Even if you look at my Killing Floor 1 gameplay video, you can see the Husks did try and shoot at me, and I had to dodge them, and because if I get hit, that would suck. You know what I mean? You really do need to focus on your stance and your gameplay of like where you are. But if it's so easy to dodge an attack because their enemy's animation locked, then they're kind of not much of a threat anymore.
There's no infighting like there is in Killing Floor 1 and 2. In those games, the Zeds will literally fight each other.
Look at that. It looked like the damage was right on him, and he's not taking any health damage. That's really bad. These guys need to be fixed or something.
Taking damage. These guys just ignore each other. And as you can see,
Yeah, I'm not worried about the lack of infighting. Infighting doesn't come up that much for me when I play, but it's a fair point that this guy got lit on fire and he didn't care.
really stiff. In Killing,
And do you see that, how the other guy totally just jetpacks away? I don't know if he got locked onto another ally, to
really
be fair.
stiff.
I don't see anywhere on the map that indicates where other players are. I think it's a solo game. But this other dude just jetted away. That's kind of weird.
In Killing Floor 2, they actually have melee attacks if you get too close.
Well, that's cool.
And they blast you with a flamethrower. But look at these two. And here's them two going at it. I mean,
Yeah.
brotherly love, right?
I didn't know they had infighting. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
Nice.
So no pun intended here, but this boss is just full of bugs. Its entire mesh warps and gets really big.
Okay, so it starts out as those little dudes and gets big. That's a cool, unique enemy design. I think that's fine, actually. Like I said, I'm not like unfair. Like if there's something cool, I'll mention it. I think this is a cool looking boss. I think for me, I think it's really interesting aesthetically.
It teleports to you. I mean,
That's a little unfair, and it's those kind of things where like it just insta snaps to you. That is why the developers put in new movement types so you can dodge stuff better. But they're just dumbing the game down by doing that. If you want to make a boss that's going to teleport to you and then maybe attack and then get maybe like frozen a bit or something, or like has to recharge, that's one thing. But if you're implementing a boss specifically to make it necessary to use your movement mechanic, then what you're really telling the player, at least to me, is almost the reverse. Like, hey, we put in this movement mechanic and now we're making a boss to justify it. Or at least that's how I view it. Maybe that's not the order they did it in, but that's how I feel when I see a boss that can really only be dodged by using your extra movement types.
Where do you begin with this thing? I have no idea. But here it is getting stuck in the door. Its head
That's just a game glitch. They'll fix that. I'm not worried about that, actually. It is funny that they couldn't fix it for the beta, but I expect that to be fixed. If it's not fixed, then we have some serious problems, because that's super bad. You cannot allow your boss to get stuck in the doorway at all, like, period.
yeah. I mean, Killing Floor 2, you just feel the quality. As soon as you start playing it, you know it's a different game. It feels good. Everything looks good. I mean, watch this.
I agree, because everything's fluid and nice. And see how, like, this guy's running at you? It makes everything shake. It's really nice.
So cool.
And you see how, like, this guy killed the other Zeds as well to get to you because he does not care. Because everyone is coming after you individually. They're not taking turns or anything. It's not like in Killing Floor 3 where we saw them just kind of like, when the crawlers were attacking him, remember? The Clots and the Gorefast were just standing around watching. It's like, what are you doing? Everyone should be coming at you with everything that they individually can do.
One of the biggest insults in Killing Floor 3 is you don't get to celebrate your boss kill. I mean, look at this slow-mo. After this,
Cool.
you can blow the boss up, you can dance, you can throw Dosh at each other, shove Dosh up its ass. It's so good. It gives you your stats as well.
I agree, that's fun.
And thanks for watching. It just goes without saying that the difference in quality between the two games.
Right.
KO3 looks and feels like an unfinished mobile game that's been ported to PC. And it's a massive disrespect to the community, you guys.
Yep.
How quiet they've been. Especially towards all the backlash. You know, they came out with some latest message recently saying something about addressing the feedback, but it's all a bunch of BS.
Right.
Please vote with your wallets, and I will see you on Killing Floor 1 and 2.
Very good video. I think this is wonderful, by the way. Obviously, again, go subscribe to Ash to Royd. I think he definitely deserves it. He made very good quality content. And I think as some final things to wrap up here, I just feel like I should point out that a lot of these things can be fixed. Like, in fact, most of the stuff I've complained about can be fixed. I would like the game to be good. The bigger issues are the more fundamental problems like weapon variety and a lack of weapon and ammo pickups, right? But I mean, if you can't get the animations right, and if people are playing the game are able to very easily spot problems, it pulls you out of the game. And we're really trying to play video games to for that escapism feeling, and this really cuts into it, and I think really takes away from it. So I'm very disappointed with the animations right now. And if they stay this way, Killing Floor 3 will feel too easy because it's too slow. Because the enemies don't come at you with full force, or they hit you when their hitbox feels like it's outside of the range of your body. And it's possible that the POV camera might be messed up a little bit too. I'm not sure, but I, at the very least, could usually tell when I would get hit or not whenever I play Killing Floor 1 and Killing Floor 2, which is which I should also be able to do in Killing Floor 3. I shouldn't see the enemy go past me and I'm still getting hit, right? That's a problem. So definitely need to work on hitboxes as well, I guess. But for now, I want to say thank you all for watching. As always, guys, I'm Elwirfy, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Every subscription really does help out a lot, and it means the absolute world to me when you do. So take care, everyone.